Let's see that we have gone live or not. So there it is showing me that we have gone live. Let me just check it on my YouTube. Hmm, okay. Okay, cool. So we have gone live on both the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Zujo. So hello everyone, I'm Omraj and I'm going to teach you React from the scratch. So let me just share my screen quickly so that you would see my screen. That if you have any kind of doubt, you can put it on the comments or anywhere that you are from where you are joining. So no problem with that. Okay. So let me just open my browser with you. So here I'm going to show you how it is going to be presented. So let's first of all understand that what is React is. Okay. So let me just uh, search for React.js on Google. So here it is showing me that React is free and open source. First of all, React is free of cost. You are not going to pay anything. Next, it is open source. Open source that its course is already been available on GitHub or other places, right? Next, it is a front-end JavaScript library. So I hope you understand the meaning of JavaScript library or a particular library. That basically what you are doing is some sort of thing that you think or you believe are going to use further in your application. You just create it as a library, then you just pick it one and use it on your local network, right? So this is the library meaning, is that you have stored some code um, in a particular file and you are reusing it again and again. So this is as a library. What it means is it is also created by Facebook in 2011, and yes, it is also been maintained by Facebook. I hope you understand that. Okay, cool. So React is basically a front-end library for JavaScript, where you are able to create single-page web application. So what is a single-page web application, right? So you have seen a website where you are having so many pages, right? You have so many pages, home, about, this section, contact, careers, and also. So these pages are different alone, stand alone by their own. There the same thing is also repeated, that each page have their own header, each page have their own stuff, right? And when you click to a particular page, then it move to switch to particular page or switch back to some place. So this is the basic functionality of a website that actually works, right? But the problem here arises is that whenever you are switching to another page, the whole content of the page is going to render. The whole content of the page is called from the or from the server, and the whole code comes together, where there is some repeated code like header and footer, but still they are coming back again due to no optimization in that process. So here our solution arises of components, right? So what all things React uses is, it creates you, it builds a single page web application, right? It creates a single page web application, and the page is not going to reload anymore, never. Just the content is reloaded. For example, you are having different contents in your different contents in your web application, right? Like this is your header, which is going to be common for most of the time, right? This is going to be a footer, right? This is also going to be common in all the pages, and just the sections below here just changes, or maybe sometimes the subsections changes. So what happens here is, when you're clicking a particular page, then these two things are not going to render again. Just the thing changes, the content itself. Then there is no rendering. There is no re-rendering again and again. So this is the benefit that React plays, and there is, you never see a rotating sign or the loading sign over here, right? Like for example, let me just click it to the doc one, right? Like tutorial, like blog. See, you are not being able to see loading sign here, or there is no loading being here. But in some websites, when this concept is not used, then there is some circles sort of thing that moves around and around. You have seen that kind of thing. So this is the benefit that React provides, and that is why React's application are really fast than other applications, and these are known as single page web application, and React is being used for that thing. Not just React uses this kind of concept. There are other tools and technologies out there, but we are going to cover React in this session, this 5-day session, and we are going to create projects based on React, right? Next thing is let me just introduce to you to the doc. That what is doc for a technology? Like you have seen different kind of technologies out there: React, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, Angular, Bootstrap, Material UI, Node, Express, any kind of technology. These technology comes with a guide or a manual with them, right? So what these guide or manual do, they basically comes with all the information that the technology contains. So when you are clicking on the doc, you can see how you are going to get started, add React to a website. You are going to learn all the concepts here. So if you are able to understand, or you are for comfortable reading, then go and check out that. And if you're more comfortable watching the video, then you are going to see these kind of videos, right? So this is also very helpful for any developer. That is a good practice to refer to docs of a particular technology. I hope you understand that. So this is what the React is. React is a single page web application utility based on JavaScript. So React is a JavaScript library that helps you create single page web applications. So single page web application, we have seen that these applications are not going to reload again and again. Only the content just changes, not the whole website is reloading. This is the benefit of React. So what are the things that are required to get started with this? First of all, the VS Code, that is the code editor on which we are going to work on. So just write VS Code, and the first link is for download. Just download it for your Windows, Debian machine, Linux. I'm going to work on Linux only. If you're on Mac, then go for that. Okay, hope that works. So this is the VS Code, and that comes from Microsoft. Next utility that we want is Node.js. Node.js is basically, and that is very important. Let's just take a quick overview of what is Node.js. It is open source, cross-platform. So what basically it is, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment, right? So you have seen, if you have already worked on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or web development, basically. So you have come around the developer tools that Chrome browser or any other browser takes with them, right? So you have seen some sort of utility like console, right? You have seen some sort of console, 13 plus 8, 21, this kind of thing. So here you are going to write JavaScript. So the property that a browser comes with of working on JavaScript. So for example, these browsers are compatible to run JavaScript on them, right? So that thing that runs this JavaScript is called the engine, the V8 engine in Chrome browser and other engines and other browsers, right? So the capability of that engine you want in your local machine. You do not always want to run your code on browser, right? You want to run that JavaScript code on your own machine, right? Then what you are going to do is you just need that compatibility or that working or the engine of the browser into your local machine. So how do you do that? So there is Node.js that is the runtime or the engine for your local machine. You are going to install that, right? So let's see what is this. So JavaScript is a runtime environment that runs on V8 engine and execute JavaScript code outside a web browser. I hope that is very much resonating to thing that I have mentioned earlier, right? Okay, let's just download it. A very simple download. Just go and next download. It's very simple. And in today's session, we are just going to set the environment and let's have a look on basic things, right? Okay, so Node.js, after installing Node.js, we are good to go with that. Next thing that we want is a good internet connection that you already have. That is why you are watching the video. Next is browser that you all have. Next other thing is React extension that we will see. And the last foremost is your dedication to learn, right? So, okay. So we are done with the setup of environment. Both the things are already been installed on your system, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me just check that my I have installed my Node.js or not. Let me just check it once, right? So what I'm going to check is the Node version, right? If it is installed correctly, installed in the system, that it will show you a particular number, that is the version of the node. Next, check for npm version, that also be some number, not exactly same, but some number should come, so that it could verify there is particular version of something is installed. If it is showing that something like you can actually read it, that it is not there, then there is some mistake from your side, then go and redo that step. This will definitely fix that, or just google it how to fix it, right? Makes sense. Next, check for npx minus version, so that will also give me a particular version, right? So what is node, you have understood. What is npm? So npm is basically helps you install packages for the node, right? So npm stand for node package manager, just like pip, python package manager, something like that. So it helps you install some external packages like react or something like that. npx is very much similar to npm, but npm install the package within your local machine, but npx just do the work of that package for once, and just do not install on your local machine. So it is very good to go with, because we do not want a load on our machines, right? So okay, so how to get started with react, right? So let's just see uh, a thing called create react app, right? So we are not going to write the react app from the scratch, because that is does not make sense to work from the scratch. We need some sort of framework or some sort of code from where we fastly begin with, right? So there is some utility called create react app that helps you create the basic structure of the application, then you can work on, right? So there is create react app. So here is some command, npx create react app. So let me just tell you that how you are going to work on that. Just open a particular folder where you want to start a application. For example, I have this react folder, and in this folder I want my application, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to open my terminal. If you're working on Windows or some other machine, so this terminal sort of thing comes when you click shift and right click, then there is a prompt open, there is some sort of PowerShell, then open that. Here you can insert those commands, right? That I'm going to do it here, right? So you just have to write npx create react app and the application name that you want for your application, right? For example, for as of now I want to-do list, right? And if I put the enter, it will start downloading or creating that app. If you have a good internet connection, it will do it very fast, but as of now I'm streaming, it will take a little bit time, so I'm not doing that. I have already created this, right? Make sense? Okay. So after all the downloads, there is some sort of there is your terminal are going to look like that, right? Your terminal prompt with these many command, these sort of prompts, right? And it end up with npm start, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check directory, which directory to do, right? So this is the basic Linux command. It is a good practice that you are able to learn Linux. Go and check out YouTube tutorial or Google tutorial where you are going to able to understand the Linux commands. That is very good for a developer perspective, right? If you are not being aware of, right? So let me just open it. npm start. So this will open my application, this application. So before doing that, let me just share you that what this application looks like. So after create React app, these many of folders are created in your application, right? So let me just start the application. Let's start the application. Okay, it is running. Okay, it is going to start within 1 second. Okay, so let's see that has it already been there. Okay, it is starting. Okay, okay, it is compiling, but sometimes it take time, sometimes it do not take time that much. Okay, yeah, so okay, cool. So it is showing me that your local application is visible on this place, or you can write localhost colon 3000. So let me just put it 3000, right? And your application is live, right? So this is, you can see that it is very simple, right? How you can create a React application, but this is not something that you want. This is the by default application that comes with, right? So this is very simple. I have done nothing. I just do just the create React app in a particular folder with the name to do, right? And I check into that folder and just say npm start to run the application, right? Isn't it cool? I think it's amazing to work with. Okay, so this is something the React application by default look like, but we do not want that. We want our own application that looks that what we want actually, right? So let me just open my uh, open my VS Code, right? I want my VS Code to open there. So what I'm going to do is I just want to open the VS Code by code dot, or in your Windows machine, what you can do is you just open your VS Code and drag the folder into the VS Code. Then it will definitely open your file structure, right? Okay, so this is the structure that the create React app have created for you, right? So this is the basic structure. So it have two folders and few files. Let's just overview a few folder. This is the node module folder. This is public folder. This is src folder. Let's just first understand about these files. So let's start with a readme file. So readme file are basically, if you have worked with Git or GitHub, that is preferred. The things that I am mentioning is preferred for a developer. That is very important. You should know about that, and that is a good practice. You should know about Git and GitHub, basic HTML, CSS to begin with the course, and a few things that I have mentioned earlier I forgot now. But anyways, right? So README is very important. The README is very important when you are working with Git or GitHub, because that will give you the overview for your Git repository, right? That makes sense, right? Okay. So GitHub is, README is that very important. I will show you that how the README looks like. But as of now, README is important. That showcase that what your project is all about, right? No one is going to read the whole code. README is just a summary of your project, and that is very important. So it is a good practice that you know Git or GitHub. Okay, next is package.json. So your application is not just based on a single technology. That may use more than one technologies, more than one packages, more than one libraries. Your application is full sort of amazing things, right? Based on what kind of thing you are building on. So what kind of packages are used in your application is actually put it on package.json, right? So package.json contains all the application scripts and other things like libraries, technologies that you're using. So it is that thing. Package.json is something different. That is something different, not required as of now. um, Package.json is important. Next is .git ignore. Basically, when you are maintaining your Git repository, basically a repository, that means you are making a record of your project in a particular file, in a folder, where each changes is being recorded back again and again. And dot ignore say that ignore these kind of, if any change happen in these files, then ignore that. So git ignore is that file that maintains the record that which file not to focus on. If these file changes, then we do not have to worry about, right? So this is very important, getting not that much, but I'm just sharing the overview. Next is node modules, right? So node modules, you can see that it is so much overwhelming. That is not required. Node module is just like it is just supporting your react application. It contains the dependencies of your application. For example, let me share you that each library is not standalone by their own. They have some sort of dependencies on other libraries too. So node module contains all the dependencies, all the modules that is required in your application. So this is it. Next, we are not going to see that what kind of thing is, because it is so much overwhelming, and that is not main objective of this course. Okay, and that is not also being required to know about. The thing that is required is public section. Fav icon is basically the icon that looks at the top, that is looking at your top. uh, why it is not picking? Yeah, these kind of icons, these icons are your five icons, right? So if someone do not know about, then for them. Logo, you have seen manifest.js. Basically it has some basic at how the screen is going to look like, not that important. Robot.txt is for some sort of SEO purposes and some stuff like that, right? Not that much required as of now. Next is index.html. So index.html is the only file that is going to render. We have seen there is one single page application, and this is the only app page that is we are talking about. We are just showing this page, but we are not going to write anything on this page. We are going to put things beside with the help of JavaScript in this page. This page is going to be neat and clean. There is nothing. It is going to be a clean page. And with the help of JavaScript, we are going to push the changes in that page. I hope that makes sense to you. Or if it is not making any sense, then don't worry. It will make sense as a session forward. And with the end of these 5-day session, you are going to learn a lot, and with a hands-on project at the end of that work. And this is the comments. Let me just remove the comments and show you the actual code of this index.html file. Okay, index.html file. So this is the file that is going to render always. There is nothing else we are going to put in form of text or something that we are going to show. There is nothing that you are showing with the help of this. You're going to insert script and to type showcasing something from here. We are going to do that from the JavaScript. We will see that. Okay, so this is the div tag that we are going to target to put all the things, right? And there is nothing else that we want. I hope the structure is very basic. There are some meta tags, link tag, basic for a logo and stuff, nothing extraordinary. So that is why I'm not going to explain each and every line.